Welcome to the Dr. Felder On Line One podcast. My name is Miranda, also known as Dr. Felder, and I'm here with another episode for season 2. I'm so excited about season 2, and I'm so excited about my guest for season 2. I think what makes season 2 so special is because we're bigger and better. Like, we came back harder than ever. So I have a special guest, but I'm big on not telling other people's stories. So I'll let her introduce herself. Introduce yourself and, give the viewers, for people who don't know you, a little bit about yourself.
Okay, thank you. Firstly, I want to say thank you so much for having me. You are an amazing woman doing amazing work, and I'm really, really honored to be here to support you and also to get my story out there. So thank you. So my name is TJ Volcane. I guess I do a lot of stuff. So I'm an author. I wrote a book, a memoir, A Black Girl in Orange. It could be found on Amazon, tjvolcane.com, and also on Barnes and Nobles.
Yeah.
I also am a community leader, particularly in the reentry community. I'm formerly incarcerated, so I'm passionate about people who have been impacted by the criminal justice system. I'm also on film. Preschool to Prison has been nominated for an Emmy. I'm in the film. So definitely excited about that. Been doing a lot of traveling and speaking and workshops, just a whole bunch of stuff around that. So I guess you'll get to know a little bit more about me through the questions, but that's kind of like a...
TJ, you came in and you blew people away. You gave me your whole resume. You gave the whole resume at the beginning. And one thing my viewers know, like, I don't lie on my podcast. I'm on it. You didn't bring my book today. You didn't bring my book, and I'm very sad.
I'm sorry.
No, but we're gonna connect outside this because I'm really interested in reading your book.
We're gonna stay connected.
Yeah.
Girl, you ain't going nowhere.
Yes, no, I'm really interested in reading this book just because I've heard other people talk about it, but I'm like a reader. Like, I read. Like, this is what I do. So I'm interested in not only, I feel like I'll get a different point of view from your book than what you might tell me.
Yes.
Because things, you can't always get everything out, but I feel like I've heard from the streets that you put your heart into this book and you put everything into this book. But we're going to get into, what's going on now. But I want to go a little bit further back. I want to know a little bit about like your childhood, right? Because we don't always just wake up and be these people. Tell me a little bit about your childhood and when you started, like your struggle with mental health as like a child. Like, when did that start for you?
I think mental health has always been a struggle for me because of the unhealthy dynamic of my family.
Yeah.
My mom, just for a little background, was a teacher. My dad, he did real estate and he was thriving financially, but they weren't the best parents. People see the white picket fence and think, oh, your family has money, and think that you must be happy or doing well. My parents did well in terms of education. So like, I had always private school education and stuff that made us look good. But deep down on the inside and what was going on in my home, I was locked in my room. I was abused. I was electrocuted. It was very traumatic.
Yeah.
I got myself out of that by running away.
Okay.
I would constantly leave the home. I would break away from school if I could. Like, I just wanted to get out.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because I didn't love my family. It was because I felt like I deserved more. I knew I deserved more. I knew it wasn't normal. Well, let me backtrack a little bit. I knew it wasn't normal because I lived in Jamaica with my grandmother.
Okay.
From about 2 till about 6 or 7. And my grandmother was extremely loving to me.
Wow.
She gave me everything. She probably spoiled me a little bit too much. And when I came here, it was like, whoa, what is this? So I knew what love was. And so I knew it wasn't right, what they were doing. They banned me all communication with my grandmother, which was traumatic for both of us. And then my mom was just like, she had a problem with me. I'll just say it. Like, my mom had a problem with me. I think she's a narcissist. I believe her behavior is consistent with narcissistic personality disorder.
Yeah.
It's actually why I went to school for psychology. I wanted to figure out like what's going on with my mother and my family. So after running in and out of the home and just having a lot of instability, I ended up in the foster care system. And because I was kind of telling what was happening, my parents turned their back on me. And I went from institution to institution. I found out what food stamps were. I found out what was going on in the hood. I didn't even know, like, I was really sheltered, and I didn't realize that before. And so when I got into the street life, I was intrigued. I was excited. I was also really smart. So the streets definitely exploited me and used me. And, I always say there's no honor amongst thieves. I think that's true.
Yeah.
But here I am, a girl from the suburbs, and extremely naive. I was the honorable one, right? So I bounced around from home to home, friendship to friendship, family to family. Everybody's like, "Oh, yeah, you could be our daughter. You could be our, whatever." But it was always never the same.
Yeah.
To me, I just felt like an outsider. I never fit in. So group home to group home. I think I lived in like all boroughs. different foster care agencies. I just never found peace or love or whatever.
And like during this time, your mom is not coming up like, I want my daughter back.
No.
Your mom is just like, go ahead.
My mom is non-existent. My dad, he was the one. So my mom kind of used my dad as a pawn, right? So he was the one physically doing things to me, but she was behind it. I got to figure it out.
She's the mastermind.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm still the mastermind. And I'm not trying to speak ill about her. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like sometimes we tell our story and people are the villain in our story. They get offended because you're not keeping their story a secret. But it's like part of my healing is telling my story. So, I forget what was the last thing I was saying.
No, it's fine. So you were just saying how like you went from home to home and like people were like, oh, you could be our daughter and stuff like that. People was willing to take you in.
It just didn't work. And I was looking, I wanted to be back with my home, right? I wanted to be with my family. I wanted us to work on it. I wanted to do therapy. But one of the things about narcissism is like accountability is just
tough.
It's cognitively though. Like people think, I don't get offended by it because I know it's like something that they didn't want for themselves. Yeah. So I am able to have grace in those moments. But, you know, I was introduced to a life of crime, being on the street and running away from the group homes. I never had freedom. That's another thing. Like I was locked in my room for years with a potty. I couldn't even use the bathroom. Like how inhumane is that? And so now I'm free, right? To roam this world, to do what I want to do. And like, I'm like, oh, they can't beat you in a group home. Like if I leave, they can't hit me. I could just do what I want to do. So now what kind of happened was they deemed me as a kid who's like problematic.
Yeah.
But really it was those issues weren't being addressed, that mental health, those needs. I was in therapy, but I was lying to the therapist. I was telling them what my mother told them to tell me. Like I was groomed. I was brainwashed.
So what was like the first age, as far as back you could remember, that you actually went to see a therapist? At what age?
I've been in therapy all my life. I recently stopped going to therapy. I love mental health support. I feel like if it wasn't for mental health services, I wouldn't be the woman I am today. I'm able to think clearly because of all it, like as a result of all the trauma is actually giving me extra additional intelligence and insight that typical people don't have. And I think I'm able to communicate it in such an eloquent way because of the services I've always received.
Yeah. And I'm happy you said that because I think even coming from me, people were just like, you're a therapist. Like that's why you're saying that this is your job. But people don't know, like I've been to therapy twice. One time it was, it was mandated that I go because of the program. But another time I went because I was going through something traumatic in my life and I was like, I need to speak to somebody. Like I'm not okay. And I felt like I couldn't talk to my family about it. So I signed myself up. But I think that it's hard to hear from a therapist. Therapy works, right? Because people are like, you're supposed to say that, right? But I want people to also understand that I not only was the therapist, I've been the patient before too, so which is important. I also heard you say that you had a great relationship with your grandmother.
Yes.
And it's traumatic to hear that, you was pulled out of an environment that you were growing in and now you don't have that. Was there ever a time during the time where you're transitioning in foster care that you was able to reach back out to her, speak to her? Like what's happening with grandma at this time?
So my grandmother, God bless her soul, she's deceased. But I did get I did get a chance to rekindle, like have a conversation with her. She had dementia, so she was losing like memory, a lot of memory, but she did recognize me. She kept referring back to stuff that happened when we were kids. My family, when I turned 18, they reached out to me because I was estranged from my family for a long time. That's another thing that my parents did. They didn't want me to be supported by my family. But they found me on Facebook. They kept like, listen, you really have to see your grandmother. And they pulled together money to send me to Jamaica.
Wow.
And so I did get to see her. We spent some time together. I had one memory, I remember like I'm bathing her. She was so prideful. And I went to like wash her private area. She said, no, man, me can wash that. It's like...
Yes, grandma.
So I was like, okay. So I was just like, we bonded and it was a really nice thing for them to do for me. So we did get to see each other.
And you may not know the answer, but some of the questions, like I try to cut it off. I'm psychologist 24/7. Like I can't help myself.
Low key, me too.
Yeah, I can't help myself. Like I am in the psych world 24/7. I'm just thinking like, because it's like you had loving family members, right? You talked about your family sending to get you your grandmother. It's just like, I don't understand why like your parents were so evil and mean. Like was it that I don't know, I'm not a parent, but sometimes people feel like when kids come along, now my parent is more loving towards my kid, it's that resentment. Like I'm just trying to, maybe I'm like looking to see like what it was that made them just spite you so much.
So I don't think it was them. I think it was my mother. And I think she was able to turn my father against me. Yeah. She was able to like convince him that I was doing things that I wasn't doing. Like doing things to her while she was sleeping. She became the victim in the home. And they used to argue a lot. And I think she wanted to redirect that energy away from her and onto me. So she kind of created a division. That's typical in narcissism, where they put people against each other and there's a lot of confusion. And so my brother, there's a term, flying monkey. He's her flying monkey. So like it's kind of like you make people around you narcissistic as well.
Yeah.
So it's like my whole family dynamic was against me. My brother, my father, my mother. I would like maybe pop up to a funeral if someone died, and like my father would be like, "Why are you here?"
Wow.
Like they didn't want me to be a part of the family because they didn't want me to tell what was happening.
Yeah.
My family was looking for me. They were trying, but a lot of lies. Like they told me, "Oh, they think you're crazy. Nobody wants you. They just trying to be nosy." So I stayed away. Even when they tried to reach out to me, I thought they didn't want me. And then they lied to the family members too, saying that all kind of stuff that was going on that really wasn't.
So they were able to like create that division.
Yes.
Yeah.
Strategically. My mother was able to do that. But my father kept looking for me. Like it would be, he in his crazy way, he would like come places like my boyfriend's house and stand outside. And back then I was like, oh, he's crazy. I'd be hiding from him. But now I think about it like he could not sleep. His daughter was on the street, like,
and he was secretly worried. And
he was worried.
He had to maybe they were married, Japan.
Yeah.
So I got to back up my wife, but that's still my kid. So
Yes.
he probably like, damn, let me go and make sure she all right, like you know.
And I acknowledge that, and I see that now. Even in that dysfunction, she never once looked for me, not once. She didn't care. That's just what it is.
So you on the streets, you on your own, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine what you doing.
First of all, I wanted clothes. Because, like, clothes was a thing that was just shiny. We always wore uniform. I went to, like, private schools. So people had, like, Jordans and sneakers and Gucci. And I actually didn't realize I was as privileged as I was. So I didn't understand wealth. That's why I kind of talk to my kids now, like, about what it is. So I think, like, people in urban communities compensate for poverty by wearing materialistic items. And so I became entrenched in that, and I became addicted to that, and I wanted to be fly, so I was boosting, and I was really good at it, and I would like have people doing it, and I would have like teams of people like waiting for me to like make moves and stuff, and so I was really good at what I do. I mean, I noticed that I'm really good at everything that I do because I put my heart into it, but I didn't know that then. And just trying to learn life, ask questions. I think that now if more people will open up their mouth when you see a troubled teenager acting out, right? Words really do plant seeds. And I think we look at teens that are troubled and we're like, oh, they ain't gonna listen to me. They ain't gonna pay me no mind. But you don't know that.
Yeah.
Because I wish somebody would have sat down and really had a conversation and say, look, you have more other options. You don't have to do this. Because I probably would have listened. I wasn't like a really bad kid.
I also think like now we don't have community. Like we don't have community. And 100%. I remember, because like I grew up in Bed-Stuy or whatever. And I remember like people didn't know my name, but they knew like I belonged to like the Sutherlands. Like that's one of their kids. Like they couldn't tell you how I was in the family, but they knew I was one of them. So I knew if I did something, it was like, oh no, I'm gonna go back and tell your grandfather. I think now people are just like, oh, she doing that? They're gonna gossip about it, but they not gonna really say nothing. 100%. You know what I mean? And I think that's what minorities communities are now lacking.
Yes. 100%. And a lot of judgment. Like you going through something with your kid, it's like, ooh, you seen her daughter, I saw it. Like, it's like, what about how can I support this family? Yeah. You know, like I'm going through that, you know, we're gonna talk about that, but I'm going through that right now. It's like I'm not a horrible person because I'm having trouble with my kid or my kid is having trouble. Like we might just need some additional support. And so people get afraid, like people are intimidated and not want to get involved, maybe thinking, oh, you know, there's some moms who don't want the support too.
Yeah.
Or like, don't talk to my son.
Kid like
don't touch my son. Like I wasn't that, but I suffered the repercussions of that.
Yeah.
Like people in the community don't want to get involved because of moms and single moms with attitudes like that.
So you boosting, you selling, you getting clothes, you getting fly.
That was my main priority. But I always went to school.
Okay, I was about to ask, are you going to school?
So I went to school. So I was blessed because I was able to stay in my private school because my boyfriend at the time, his mother like had the church support me. So my mom and my dad, they didn't want to pay for my education anymore because I was like afraid to go back home. So like, since you don't want to listen to us, you don't get our support. So I still was able to stay in my high school, which was different. Like a lot of the kids that were in the group home with me was like running the street all night. Some of them were in prostitution and all kinds of like really serious drug use and stuff. But because I was still in the same setting in terms of school, and it was a Christian school, I kind of had a foundation. I kind of like knew how things were supposed to be. So I would do things like I would steal stuff, but I wouldn't compromise too crazy. Like I wasn't going out there to sell my body. I wasn't about to start using no drugs. So I still was blessed, even though I was like experiencing a lot.
And that's what I'm noticing. Like even though your life, obviously there was things happening, it was like, yo, you were blessed. You were still able to go to this school. You still had some community.
Yes.
And it was just like, it was people trying to still be there for you.
Yes, definitely. But the boosting became addictive. So it was more, so now I went from surviving, trying to get just sneakers and stuff that I need, to now like being a klepto at one point. Not a klepto like with people. Because I never stole like from, like if your bag is here, I wouldn't dig in your bag. But like I would just be thinking about it all the time. Like I want to go in the store and steal. Like I want to get stuff. I want to sell stuff. I'm taking orders from people. Like that was my life. And when people say you can't change, that's a lie. Because I am a law-abiding citizen. I do not have criminal thoughts. Like I do what I'm supposed to do now. So to come from thinking like that, because of the people I was around at the time.
And it's also, it's work. People don't want to acknowledge that. But you have people be like, oh, this is not getting better. It's just like, what are you doing? Like, you got to put in the work. And I think that the reason,
100%.
From what I've seen, the reason why you've become this woman that you are is because you put the work in.
And I'm still putting it in.
Yeah, but people want to go to sleep, wake up, and be better. That's not life.
That's not realistic.
Like, what are you going to do to make yourself better?
But even before putting in the work is also awareness of where you are. Like, I am at a deficit. I understood, like, look, I don't have my family. I don't have a lot of the luxuries that a lot of people have. So I need to move a little bit differently. I need to be a little bit more mindful. I always had like a savings account. I'm like, I don't have a mom I could call if I'm, going through something. I need to be able to provide it myself. And so I had this like independent thinking, I would say, that kind of like hinders me now a little bit because it's hard for me to accept help. It's another conversation.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that because you deserve to be helped.
That's a trauma response too.
Yeah. But you deserve to be helped.
Yes. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. After you finish, you going through your boosting age, when did things switch for you? Like when did
prison switched things? Just to be honest, crime was my lifestyle. It was all I thought about. I thought it was normal. Everyone in my life was committing crimes. My friends, this is just what we did.
Were you afraid? Like, were you afraid to like go to jail?
No, I just didn't think what I was doing was serious enough to go to jail. Like, oh, I'm boosting, then it turned into credit card fraud. And I'm like, yeah, but I didn't kill anybody. I'm not gangbanging, which I was at one time when I was younger. But I just thought it wasn't that much. There weren't many consequences. Like, I could do 30 days. I could do 3 months. I definitely didn't see 5 years coming.
You think, but I can't do 5 minutes. Like, I can't make it. Like, I'm not going to make it there. No, let me tell you something. And I'm not ashamed to say it. Like, I'm not no punk, but I can't go there because I want to shower 3 times a day when I feel like it. And they don't have steak there. I want steak. I eat steak at least once a week. I can't make it there. So I can't go. So to hear you say, like, I could do 30 days, I'm like, yeah.
I mean, that was my thing. It was warped thinking. You kind of make excuses for your lifestyle.
I'm scared, Tisha.
I wasn't scared. And it was because the people around me weren't scared. Like, this is what we did.
Yeah.
You look at if you're around 4 successful people, they say you be the 5th one.
Mm-hmm.
But that also works in the contrary too.
Yeah. So how do you get into like credit card scamming? How's that introduced to you?
So my best friend at the time, her family was deeply entrenched into that lifestyle. And I was smart. So we would go out and started like using cards, but I would come out with a lot of money. Like people, they would go and get like $2,000 and $3,000 in gift cards. I would come back with like 15,000 or like 20,000.
Oh my God.
And so it was like the first time I saw that if like I could really do well. Like I thought I was gonna be rich. Like I thought, okay, I do enough for this. I could just stop. But the thing is, I never did. It becomes like your expenses get higher. You want more. You start buying things you can't afford, and then your crime becomes income. And so I just was like, in the beginning, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get this amount of money. I'm gonna save. I'm gonna stop. It doesn't happen like that.
I think you become addicted. Like you become addicted. And I also believe when you make more money, you spend more money.
Yes.
So that's part of it. So you ripping and running. How long you doing this for?
Couple of years. So my life was just like so unstable. I can't tell you exactly, but I do know from very young up until I was in prison, I went to prison at 23, a life of crime. I probably had like summer youth jobs and stuff before that, but once, which was a man, introduced me to a life of crime, I quit my job. So once I realized I could make so much money, I'm making my whole paycheck in one day. Oh no, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And so I became addicted to making money. And I like the respect that it came along with it.
Yeah.
People say, oh, she getting money in the hood. Like that's a thing, you know? So I didn't get that before. I didn't get acknowledged by my mother and my family. I was a nobody. I didn't know my value. I didn't know I was beautiful. I didn't know my own worth. Yeah. And so when you don't know, you settle for things that you shouldn't.
So while you're doing this stuff, is your family coming back around? Or they still not dealing with you?
Now I'm completely estranged. Now it's been years that I haven't spoken to any blood relatives. So at this point, I'm pretty much on my own. And I'm okay with it. I'm like, I got this. Because you got Gucci glasses and bundles. And I'm driving. And my apartment is nice. And I'm just like, I don't need no family. I got it. Until I didn't.
So let's talk about when you didn't. What happened? So now, right, you get caught.
I get caught because there was an investigation from the federal government. So basically, they were watching us for 7 months and they didn't know my name. So I was traveling out to Virginia. We had like a connect where we were getting numbers from out of state. Excuse me, but they weren't working here in New York. So we had to travel to use the pieces. And so there was an investigation in Virginia. So I was going back and forth to Virginia to do this crime. And then one day I was sloppy. I was like staying in the store longer than I should have been. I'm grabbing stuff for who is now my son's aunt. Well, she was babysitting my first son. And I'm grabbing stuff for her because she's like, when are you coming back? And next thing I know, I'm arrested. They get my fingerprints. Now the federal government is able to identify me.
Wow.
So now I basically handed them the last piece of their case. They knew everything, but they didn't know how, like my identity.
They were trying to figure that out.
Yeah. So then shortly after that, they called my cell phone. And they said, you've been indicted. And they actually, we negotiated on them meeting with me to turn myself in. And that's how my life changed in a phone call.
What's going through your mind when you get this phone call?
Is this a prank? These are big dogs, the feds.
Yeah, when they said when the feds come?
The NCIS, so Navy Police.
So you're like, hello? Is this?
I'm like, who? What do you mean the NCIS? Now there's a show. I don't know if the show was out then, but I didn't know who NCIS was. So I had to like keep asking them, like, what is that? They're like, well, just like you have the FBI and the DEA, we're another branch of federal police. And you have been indicted. You've been investigated for 7 months. We already know X, Y, and Z. And I'm there with my husband. I was there in Virginia because I was fighting that state case that I've been arrested on. And now I'm like, I got way bigger problems.
Wow.
They didn't even want to let me out. Like I had to spend like 20 grand just to get out, get a lawyer, 5 grand just to get a bail hearing. Like it was a very expensive process as well.
But at this time, I heard you say like you had a savings.
I had a savings. I had a lot of savings. I wasn't never like a person to spend my last dollar. So that was good, but you don't have the type of money to defend yourself from the federal government.
And I'm going to be honest, that's what pisses me off a lot of time when I hear about people doing crime. Because they make all this money and people are thinking for the moment. And then it's like they come, and I've had experience, people like, oh, we don't got no money for no lawyer. And it's like, you're doing big crimes. And people will walk in and not have $2. And it's just like, how? Like, I don't get that. Like,
because of poverty mindset.
Yeah.
People do crimes out of lack. Doing this work, I'm able to understand that people don't want to be criminals. Yeah. You think people just want to be bad people?
No, I don't
it's out of desperation and out of lack and not having and growing up without having. And when I like to say, like, when people don't have resources, they start taking them.
Yeah.
You go out and get what you need by any means necessary. So, and then it becomes a lifestyle and it becomes a mindset. and then it becomes habitual. And so that's how that happens, you know?
So you're home, you have your husband at home, a kid at this time already.
I had one kid.
Yeah.
By the time when I got indicted, I was pregnant. So I was having a baby with my husband. And I ended up giving birth to that baby while I was incarcerated. But the entire process of me traveling, so at one time they told me I couldn't come back to New York. So I had to stay in Virginia, find housing. I was still sneaking back to New York, but I had to live there. Now I'm on federal probation. I have like a lot of oversight now. I can't do the crime anymore, so I don't have a job, so money's going out, no money coming in. And it was just one of the like most alarming times of my life where I realized like what I've been doing is not okay.
Yeah.
I really didn't realize it before that.
So how are you surviving while you're fighting this case and you no longer can
my savings?
Okay.
Yeah. And then my husband also had a lawsuit coming at the same time. So he was at that time extremely supportive.
Wow.
He was in court with me and doctors, like he was there. And so we got through it because we had money.
I hear that giving birth, just, you know, I've witnessed my sister and stuff like that, has been traumatic. What is it like giving birth incarcerated?
Giving birth incarcerated was probably the worst things I ever had to go through. And then you don't have, so I'll back up a little bit. While I was incarcerated, the expectation was that I was to have my baby and be in the hospital with no family support. So I challenged that. I was like, who can I talk to? I'm not like, how is this? Everyone just seems to like accept what systems do. And I wasn't willing to accept it.
So they were saying that you got to give birth with your baby and nobody could come, their husband couldn't come to the hospital?
No, nobody.
Okay.
Because it was a safety issue.
Okay.
I don't know how, but that's just what it was. So I asked the case manager, what do I do? How do I advocate for myself? And who could make a decision to change that? He said, well, only the warden. But they said it in a way that it wasn't possible.
Yeah.
So I went through the hierarchy, the chain of command. They have something called mainline. So mainline is when the prison administration comes and then you basically, as an inmate, or I shouldn't say inmate, now we say incarcerated person, we go and we're able to speak to, you know, whatever issue we have, but there's a chain of command. So you can't just go up to the warden. You have to go to this person and this person, similar like to a job. And when I finally told the story so many times, I was so exhausted. When I got to the warden was just like, sure, yeah, we can try it.
Wow. That was easy.
Right. It wasn't as easy to get to him. He was really sweet, but he said that I couldn't have my husband there for the birth because that would be too much going on. He said once the baby was born, then he could be there with me. So that was good enough for me. And for me, it was a little bit less traumatizing because he was there. But initially going in, they were unprepared. There was just so much disorganization. I went into labor. I'm like, I think I need to go. I go to the hospital. They're like, you're not ready. And I'm like, I'm not ready what? They're like, oh, she needs to go back. But then they're talking not to me. They're talking to the correction officers like I'm not sitting there. So I felt like a number at that time. I always remember that. And I'm like, hello, I'm locked up. Like, I can't just go back home. And they're like, well, you have to go back to the facility.
Yeah.
So the COs did try to advocate for me. But I ended up having to go back and endure labor in a facility.
Wow.
And I know, so I should have said that I am a big believer in God. I love the Lord. And I believe it was God's interruption of that process, because when I went back to the hospital the second time, I had the most loving correction officer. She was so good to me. Like, she was rubbing my back. She was just like, could have been a family member the way she was with me. And so my water ended up breaking on the unit, like, psh, and then I'm like, am I ready now? So I was in like a lot of pain, walking from the unit all the way to the receiving and discharge area. You gotta stop at the infirmary, and I'm in active labor all this time, and it's like a mile walk. It's like so long. So then they trying to get a stretcher, but the stretcher's collapsing, and then finally halfway through they got a wheelchair. We get to the receiving and discharge. I'm crawling around on that nasty floor because like it was just like so unbearable. But when I got to the hospital, things kind of calmed down. I got an epidural. Ended up having a C-section because of my son having some breathing issues during the birth. I just remember during that time, and I actually write about this in my book, I'm just like, are they going to take my uterus? Like, I don't trust these people.
Yeah,
you hear stories.
You hear stories about Black women giving birth.
Period. And now I'm incarcerated. So I was just like, why do I need a C-section? They're like, miss, you need to sign this paper because your baby's going to die. So I'm just like, let me see the screen. Show me what you're showing, what you're seeing.
Yeah.
And then when I saw how, like, the machine was beeping and how alarmed everyone was and how more people started coming, and I just signed it and I prayed. And I was just like, God, please just protect me. I had nobody there with me and I was scared to death. But he delivered in record time. And, you know, like I said, I believe in God and I believe he was watching over me that day. And I heard my sons cry and I saw my son and I was like, I gotta remember his face. You know, I'm just thinking about all these different things. And yeah, I got through it. I'm here. We're here. We're doing well.
I didn't want to, you know, I usually do this at the end, but I got to say this now. It's on my heart, so I'm going to just say it. I just feel like you like are a strong woman. Like you're just so like hearing your story. And like we didn't talk about all of this before, but just hearing your story is just like, wow, like you're so strong. Like hearing it is just like, you're such an amazing woman. Like this is stuff and I say that really like being serious and like humbly, because I feel like some of these things that women are not incarcerated and they're doing these things struggling, but for you to have all of the odds against you and still to be able to come out on top, that's something that, you know,
the power of God, girl.
Yeah,
prayer,
absolutely,
and being vulnerable, being honest, calling somebody like, listen, I need to talk. You know, venting, writing for me is an outlet. People don't stress. I stress, like I journal. I do things for my mental health, and I choose me in the process.
I love that. So you give birth to your son. He has to leave.
So I give birth to my son, but then I'm noticing my son is not, like, he has coal in his eye. He had an infection, to make a long story short. So I'm trying to tell the nurses, they're not paying me any attention because I'm locked up. Just so you know, they didn't have any like cuffs on me, which was good.
Yeah.
But there was a nurse, she was a mob wife. She was Italian and her husband was incarcerated. So she was like, what are you trying to say? So I was letting her know, like, something's wrong with my baby. And she did a test and she was like, yes, something is wrong with your baby. And she grabbed the baby and ran to ICU. He had jaundice and he could have gotten brain damage. I'm sitting there saying, because I had a child before, something is wrong with my baby. No one would listen. So it's just like, with that, what's it like being an incarcerated woman giving birth in a hospital is like being ignored, being treated like nothing. And again, I had to advocate for myself. I'm like, the warden authorized me being in my room with my husband and stuff, but the warden they wouldn't let me go see the baby in the ICU. So I prayed and I was like, can you please call the facility, please? The woman, she was so nice. And when I thought all hope was lost, he called back and he did it for me again. And he was like, yes, she can go in the ICU. Because the problem was that the officer couldn't go in the ICU armed with me. It had to be one officer with me, one on the outside guarding. So I couldn't go in because the officer couldn't bring the gun in. He authorized that the officer on the outside hold both guns. And it was so much favor. So I'm C-section hurting, not wanting to take any medicine because I didn't want to get addicted to like Percocet and stuff. So I'm making it down the hallway like, I'm going to see this baby. I got to go see this baby. I only got 3 days. And I would like spend time with, I keep hitting the mic. Okay. I would spend like time with the baby in the ICU as much as I could and bond with him as much as I could. And, you know, I had to fight for that. For that time. It's like everything I had to fight for.
No, but it worked through. Like, because I know people have been like, no, that's your business. Like, I feel like people, you know, when they inmate, is just like, they don't treat them like humans anymore. And we got to still see them. They are human beings, regardless of what you think they've done or they've done, they still are human beings. And at this point, you are a mother.
Yes.
You understand? You are a praying mother because your baby came out, he's sick. And everything that you thought could have went wrong kind of did go wrong.
Yeah.
So you're there with him for 3 days.
Yes.
Your husband comes.
My husband was there like a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm. He takes the baby. What is it like seeing your husband walk away with your kid and you have to go?
Oh, no. I had to leave because my son had to stay in the hospital because he had to stay under the light in the ICU. Mm-hmm. So I remember that morning and I was just like, I can't do it. They were like, oh, you know, they coming around like, oh, mom's getting discharged. The doctors are talking as if I'm not arrested.
Around again.
Like I'm not incarcerated. And I'm like, she's discharged. She's just leaving. And I'm just like, and but baby's staying. And then like going over the medical charts. And they're like getting ready to transport me. And I just freeze. I'm like, miss, I can't do it yet. And she was like, what you can't do? I was like, I cannot leave. I can't leave yet. Just like this. I need time. I need you to like, I need help. Please. I can't just leave. Like, I didn't even see my baby today. And she was like, listen, I'm going to see what I can do, but this is a stretch. So she called the facility again, and they were like, she couldn't get any overtime. I think she was getting off at 4. So they're like, you got to be out of that hospital by 3. This was like maybe 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. So she was like, I'll give you till 3 if the hospital lets you stay. So I spoke to the hospital. They're like, okay, she can keep the bed till 3.
Wow, look at God favor. What a God kid. You call him up. You got the personal number.
I was like,
because you just making calls.
I can't. I was like, I can't leave, please. Like, I had to give the gab too.
Yeah.
So I was in that back and forth in that ICU all day. And when I tell you that time went by so fast. And then the moment came, like I'm holding my baby and I'm looking at the clock and the officers are there and they're like, she put her hand on my shoulder. I'm like, I know it's time. And I just gave up the baby and the baby started screaming, my son. He was screaming. And I just had to walk away and leave him screaming. I hadn't heard him scream like that. I felt like he knew.
Yeah, they say that. They say that energy, especially with mothers. They know that.
Yeah, and I was just like, trying to keep it together, counting the towels, rolling me out. And then they were supposed to like handcuff me. And the lady was like, I'll get in trouble. I'm not handcuffing her. She can't even walk. Like, no. I'm not shackling her. I'm not handcuffing her. So that was favor again. Yeah. And then I made it back to the facility. And for me, it was the noise, the metal clinking of the doors. That was like brought me back to reality. Like, I'm going to have to stay here for 5 years without my baby. Wow.
That's tough.
Extremely.
During your time being incarcerated, did your kids ever come visit? Because at this point you have 2 children. Did they ever come visit?
So, yes, they did come and visit me. I got into a lot of trouble while I was incarcerated. So I was getting into a lot of fights. And when you are incarcerated, one of the ways that they discipline you is through taking away like visitation, cell phone, commissary. So I would lose my visitation often, which is why I couldn't see them as much as I could. I don't want to talk a whole bunch about that because a lot of the stories in my book and folks got to buy that.
And we want people to buy that book. Hello, go get we're going to give y'all the name. Y'all can go buy that book.
It's good. A Black Girl in Orange. Go
there
get that.
There we go.
And the book 2 is coming out too at the end of this year. But yeah, like basically that was my experience.
Okay. So let's fast forward because you're bigger than that. I wanted to give a little bit of your incarceration. I don't want to focus on that. That's not who you are anymore. I don't believe in just only highlighting our trauma.
I think it is a big part of who I am.
But not who you're becoming. And that's the woman that I want to highlight today. Okay. You get what I'm saying? So it's time for you to come home. What does that feel like, right? Because now I think that people are like, oh my God, you're coming home, but you're coming home now. You got to step into being a mom. You have 2 boys who you haven't been around for a while. So what are you thinking coming home?
Honestly was delusional.
Okay, why?
And was not having a realistic expectation of what I was going to have to be faced with. So I'm like, I'm going to figure it out. I always figure everything else out, but I didn't have a plan. So if I could go back, the one thing I would do, I would say I don't have regrets, but I would have a plan. What am I going to do? What's step 1, step 2, step 3? I got in trouble so much while I was in prison that I didn't think about the outside. It was kind of how I coped.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, the family's going to help me. This is like, everything's going to fall in place. Oh, I got this. I'm just get a job. Not thinking like you don't have experience. You never had a job. Like you don't even know how to get a job, right? So a lot of just thinking I'm gonna roll with the punches because that's kind of how prison is. Like things are done for you and it's just gonna be all right. But it was completely the opposite. I was struggling. My mental health was struggling. I came out, I was depressed. I wasn't in a good place with my husband. I didn't have that relationship with my friend anymore. My best friend, who I was in prison because I didn't snitch on her. Yeah. Right? We were doing this crime together. I didn't say that. So it's like I didn't have any support. So it's just the constant theme of loneliness and having to be independent and figure this out. And I'm just like, when is somebody going to catch me? When is somebody going to support me and help me the way I've helped so many? And constant struggle of figuring things out. I knew I needed therapy. So one of the first things I did when I got out was get mental health treatment.
I love that.
For me and my family. We did a lot of family therapy. I found an organization, Children of Promise, New York City. They now have a location in the Bronx, but they also have one in Brooklyn. And I'm still affiliated with that organization. I'm the president of their parent advisory board. But when I came out, they supported me. So once I was able to see, like, okay, there are organizations out that will support me and my family, I started trying to find, I found the Fortune Society, which I work for them now. And I took a workforce development program. So I was like, okay, this is how you get a job. So I was a fast learner, a person who always picked up things quickly. So once I was able to figure that out, I got a job. My first job was 311. And so I did that for a little while and then, built a business and things kind of took off once I figured it out. But initially, I say for the first 2 years, I was in the dark. I was unrealistic. Like, I didn't understand. People weren't understanding me. Like, there was a disconnect.
Yeah.
I was really, really aggressive. I'm like, my words are scattered.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
I was really aggressive. Didn't know I was aggressive.
Yeah.
So people didn't want to deal with me, but I didn't know why. And I was scared to ask. So it's just a lot of challenges coming out of prison that most people don't talk about that are very, very real.
So there's some people who are incarcerated now, may have came out of jail yesterday. Women and men. And they don't know where to start, right? I don't know where to start. I've been incarcerated for 5 years. I'm trying to adapt to society. What kind of advice would you give to those people right now?
Oh, okay. So the first step is being honest. So post-traumatic, there's something called PICS, post-incarceration syndrome. It's very real. I believe it should be in DSM-5. It's basically PTSD for people who've been in prison.
Okay.
And we don't talk about how animalistic the prison environment is. You get accustomed to coexisting in that environment. But when you come out here, it's a very different environment.
Yeah.
So for people who are in prison and coming back into the community, the first thing is understanding, like, I am not normal. Like, I have been removed from society. I need treatment and education. So treatment and education needs to be the first step. I would also say recognizing that you need to separate from your previous friendships or whatever got you there. You can't go back down that road. A lot of times people come out and looking for familiarity. You want to see somebody that you knew before because you want to feel it's just some level of connected, right? But that's probably the last thing you should do. So for me, I went on Eventbrite and I went to events. I went to healing circles. I found groups. I learned literally in real time how to interact with people again. And it was a struggle, but I met people and I basically built a new life from the ground up. So I would say not repeating past behaviors, being very mindful of being around people with criminal activity. If your goal is to really change your life, you can't be around crime, at least for some time.
And what we said before is you can't be one foot in and one foot out.
You can't be one foot in and one foot out. A lot of people make that mistake. And having a criminal mindset is going to take time to change. And being okay with that. You're going to get those thoughts. But being able to speak to those thoughts in the moment. Like, okay, I'm thinking this. I could do this instead. I am smart enough to do this. If I can make this money doing this and doing the wrong thing and not living in as a person with integrity, I can also do this, right? So it's also a choice. But I would say mostly you need programming, you need treatment, and awareness of where you are. And what is it going to take for you to get there, get out of it?
Do you think therapy helps in terms of like the mental health piece that you suffered and incarcerated? Do you think that people who are incarcerated can go to therapy and they can heal that part of them?
Of course. Okay. I think it has to be a decision. There's a stigma in the Black community about receiving help. I don't think it's only mental health help. It's any kind of help.
Any kind of help.
If you need help academically, we're teased. If you need help medically, we try to hide it. Like, help is okay to get. We need support as people. And so understanding that coming out of incarceration, you absolutely need mental health support, 100%. And being okay with that.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. I agree with that part too. Like, we don't like to ask for help. And I think that's part of, like, it's a cultural thing, the way you was raised. Like, you're supposed to, like,
I'm supposed to rough it by myself?
Yeah. Or like, you're supposed to be like this strong Black woman. Like, I don't want to be that anymore. Like, I want to
soft. I need a soft life.
Soft. Oh my God, I want to be so soft. Like, you're gonna handle it, okay? Like, you're gonna figure out the dinner. No, I'm not gonna lie. I used to be like, oh no, I didn't pay. I got my own money now. I don't have it. I don't. I'm sorry. Okay, you're gonna go get the dinner,
girl.
Sure,
okay.
no problem.
Girl, I'm with you.
Yeah,
soft girl life me.
The way I found you though, right? We got to talk about this because people going to look and they're going to say what they're going to say. But I do want to touch on this, right? Because you advocate. I don't want to say talk. You advocate a lot for you as a mother and your son, because I know that you and your oldest son, your relationship is not the best right now. It's not what we want it to be, but we're working towards uniting families.
Yes.
I told you before, I used to work for ACS, and I felt like regardless of what they motto say, the work that they were doing, I don't feel like they advocated to unite families. I didn't get that working there.
Don't get me started.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, this is not for me. I gotta go, right? I didn't see that. But I think like what caught me about you is not only, like I said, you're a strong woman, not only because you're strong, and I take to a lot of strong women, but I also feel like the lack of resources, the lack of help that you're getting, and you're a woman who's crying out for help. And then I'll see that, and then I'll see mothers who end up in jail because they did this to their kids and did that. And here it is, a woman who's advocating and saying, I need help. And then we criticize the woman who's in jail because she didn't say that. You know what I mean? I feel like I just want to touch on a little bit about that and about like what you're going through with trying to like save your son, because that's ultimately what you're trying to do.
Yeah. So I'll say this. My son and I have been on a journey. He has been, he's my first kid. Mm-hmm. So he remembers a lot of stuff that I didn't even realize he was taking in at such a young age, 4 years old. He grew a resentment towards me, I believe, because I was in prison. And with me showering him with love and attention and support and just materialistic items, whatever it is, like just trying to give him everything, it really wasn't productive. Mm-hmm. And it caused him to be even more resentful and want more and more and more. And a lot of times, you're coming out of prison and you don't know how to parent, right? Usually you grow with your kids. So you figure things out in the moment. Mm-hmm. I was removed from 3.5-year-old, and I come back, boom, I got 2 kids in school. One is in school. Mm-hmm. And so I had a lot of learning to do, and I didn't know how to properly parent. That part I'll say. But during the process, I did try to advocate with ACS. I tried to go to the courts. I tried to let people know, like, I need support from organizations. It was very minimal, the amount of support I was able to get. Very surface level, very performative. That's the theme that I saw throughout. Mm-hmm. And my son started to get locked up, which is typical when you have, so I'm the first person in my family to be incarcerated. And now my son has experienced incarceration or placement, they call it when it's a youth.
And that's a statistic thing. They say, like, if you're
it's intergenerational. Yeah. Incarceration is absolutely intergenerational, which is why I do the work that I do. But now we're at a place where we're not even speaking. Yeah. My son begged me to give him up. He didn't want to be under my control. He didn't want to follow rules. He's seeing people, the guys outside. Gang activity started to be a thing. And now it starts being where the streets have more of a voice in his mind than I do. Yeah. Right? So he started in and out of my house, and the disrespect starts, and then it just escalates, and you try to hide it. At first, I hid it. I didn't talk to people about it because you fear judgment. People are going to say, I did this wrong, or it's because you did that. But really, every situation is different. Yeah. Every child is different. Every kid has different needs. And then you also need support. This kid I didn't have a lot of support because I have 2 different dads for my children. So it's now to the point where I gave him up, like he asked me to do, but it's still not enough for him. I was on Instagram recently talking about that experience and how I tried to talk to the judge and was shut down, and how the family court is set up to be against the parent, and how decisions are made without me, but then I'm left to pick up the pieces. I'm never included in his treatment until it's time for someone to take liability. Mm-hmm. So when it's time to get the ACS placement, the ACS allegation or child welfare allegation, they're trying to put that on me as the parent. But where's the record of me constantly writing emails trying to get supported? He's coming into the community. One time he was locked up, and he's coming into the community. He's in a discharge conference saying, I'm not listening to nothing nobody says. I'm not coming in the house at no curfew. Y'all can do what y'all want to do. And we releasing this kid? Yeah. What kind of services? I've been asking for therapy since he got here. I wasn't able to get that. Y'all are ready to dump him on me when you know that he's not going to be successful. He's not going to he's not going to do well in the community. It's summertime.
Yeah.
He's not in no programs. He's not in school. I got to go to work. That's a recipe for disaster. At least have it in place where he has some type of programming, because he was willing to do it. He just didn't have the resources. I saw it. And so I just feel like being a Black woman, a single parent, there's a lot of judgment and stigma from the community and also the system.
Yeah.
Your back is against the wall in impossible situations. And I just started speaking out about it. I'm like, I'm not going to keep this bottle in.
Yeah.
Everybody that knows me knows I go hard for those kids, right? I mean, I'm leaving work. I'm showing up. I'm at the school. I'm very active. I'm on deck as a parent. So I'm finding no resources. That's a problem. Yeah. And so I'm committed to making change. As I'm going to start in Brooklyn, particularly as it relates to parents in justice involved homes. Right? You have a kid that's having problems and getting arrested. That starts in the house.
Yeah. And
you're dismissing the parent's perspective, and you're not. How he's doing in the home is not a part of this court report. Like, he's right now on pretrial and he was on house arrest, but he was never home. And this report is not going to the judge. So I started holding the sheriff's office accountable. Y'all have him on house arrest, but y'all not watching him.
Right,
and judge doesn't know about this. And then there was another incident. My son was released to another person.
Yeah, I saw that video.
He's locked up. At this point, he was getting locked up, catching cases, felonies, and I'm like, maybe he needs to sit for a while, right? I wasn't advocating for him to get out.
Yeah.
I didn't want to criminalize my son, but he gets out, he get another charge. Y'all gonna just keep piling up these football numbers on my kid. His attorney went around me and got him released to a woman who I'm not related to. I'm like, this is legal? That's a violation of my constitutional rights.
Yeah.
So I'm going to the court to advocate for myself and my family and say, listen, this is not okay. That's why these youth are failing.
Yeah.
You dismantling the family. ACS's mission is to support children and families. I don't feel supported. It's like my voice is, all of my advocacy is on deaf ears. I currently have a gag order. Like, you could post about this, but I can't on my own page. I'm not allowed to talk about anything pertaining to my son and post it on social media. My son was able to go to the court and ask for an order for me to mute myself because my videos were going viral.
Wow. What do you say to people that, because I'm into comments, so I read the comments. I'm letting you know I did my research before I came here. People is tearing your ass up, right?
Yes,
so what do you say to people that say, like, she's posting her kid business? Because that's the problem too with the Black community. I'm gonna let you know. She posting her kid business online like she just want clout, right? But I didn't see that when I saw you. I saw, like, this is a mother asking for help because, God forbid, you come and you tell this mother, what you gonna tell her if, God forbid, something happened to her kid and her kid dies, or her kid is in jail for life, right? So what do you say to those people that say you're just doing this for clout?
So I have a mission. And when I have a mission, I don't care what nobody has to say. That's just who I am. And I guess because of all of the stuff that we just talked about, and probably more that we probably is too much to talk about, I have, like, very thick skin. Yeah. So when it bothers me, it's only when somebody close to me. And that has happened where friendships have been interrupted because they don't like the way that I'm going about handling the situation. You want me to be quiet about it, but that's what everybody does. But that's not helping anything. So it's like, am I going to care about the opinion of the public, or am I going to put this out there to see what change can be made and maybe even help not only my son, but the community? Because I'm thinking for the community. I'm thinking about all the Black boys coming behind him. Yeah. I'm thinking about other moms who are in my situation. I'm sorry, but I don't care. Okay. I really don't care what people have to say.
I love that. And I always believe it's two sides to a story. I'm pretty sure if I spoke to your son, his view and what happened and things that's going on would be different, right?
Absolutely.
Because we formulate our own experiences. So I believe that. What do you think that you could have done better as a mom?
Oh, so much. First of all, I was gone for the first couple of years of his life. He said to me one day during a family therapy session, I'll never forget it. He said, so you ain't snitch on your best friend, but you knew you had kids.
Wow.
So you cared about her more than your kids.
Oh, God.
I had to sit with that.
Yeah.
He's right. Maybe some part of me did care about her more than my kids because I felt like she was going to hold my kids down. I'm like, why everybody got to go down? And I'm not from the street. My no snitching wasn't the street code thing and all that. That wasn't that.
Yeah.
It was, I love her. This is like family to me.
Mm-hmm.
And she devastated me. Like, she broke my heart.
Yeah.
And you gotta read the book to get
that.
Yeah. But, you know, at the time, it was just like, I cannot cross somebody that I love. I can't. How am I gonna do this? And so, yeah, that's how that went.
What do you ultimately want for your son right now? Like, if he was listening, like, say he run across this podcast, and I think a lot of times when families are having disagreements, it's hard to hear each other, right? I can't hear you if I'm mad. I can't hear you if right now I hate you, Mom. I resent you. I can't hear you. But if it was any time that you can really get your son to just hear you, like, listen, this is what I want to say, what would you say to him? Like, what do you want for him right now?
You didn't prepare me for this.
Listen, that's what we do here. We don't give it all. I told you that.
I want to say I love you. I love you so much. I love my son, and I want him to stop hurting. I want him to trust me. I want our relationship to be mended. I want him to take accountability. Yeah. He is determined not to take accountability. I'll just say that, and I think it's destroying him. And I want him to know that he doesn't have to be afraid of owning his mistakes. Yeah. We can always start new. He can still come back. I'm forgiven. I've already forgiven him for everything that he's done, and I'm constantly forgiving him. And I just wish he could see my heart for him. And also, I want to feel loved by him, right? I feel like my son exploits my love. I think that he takes advantage of the love that he knows I have for him. And it's hurtful to me. Yeah. I believe my son at times has been abusive to me. Not physically, but financially. He's a genius. So tech-wise, he's done things that was very disturbing to me and hurtful to me and alarming. But I've never given up on him. And even me having to give him up into voluntary foster care was his request. And every single day of requesting. So I just want him to know that's not what I wanted to do. I'm talking about it not to embarrass him, but because I think this is bigger than our family. Yeah. He is not in a position that he's in because he wants to be there. He's not doing the things that he wants to do because he thinks it's good. I think he feels like his back is against the wall. I think he sees the Black men in his community doing what he's doing, and that's his leadership. That's his mentorship. And you know, for me, I didn't do a good job with providing a good male figure. Even my ex-husband wasn't the best male figure. And that's, you know, not having a parent myself, I didn't learn that. I didn't understand how serious it is when you're vetting a family, having a baby. I just kind of had a baby with anybody. Yeah. And that, again, because of that missing, that lack of guidance in my own life, you know, and trauma that I've been able to heal from, and I'm still healing from. I just wish that he joined me in that mission, that journey. Excuse me, join me in the journey of healing.
It's tough. It's tough. It's so tough. Oh my God. Where are you at with the rest of your family? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about present time. What is your relationship like now? You've been through a lot of trauma in your life, and I know you and your son is trying to mend that relationship, and it's gonna happen. You're a praying woman, and kids see after. Not only that, kids after a while you see, like, even now, like, I'm 33, I'll be like, Mom, you was right about a lot of stuff. I have to be honest because she be right sometimes. I just don't be want to say it. Yeah. But where are you at in terms of, because I think part of your healing too is like you healing that little girl, right?
The inner child.
Yeah, sure. That's important. So where are you at? Just give people a brief update, like where you are in terms of relationship with your mother, your brother, your family, your father.
So I have no contact with my mother.
Okay.
And I think that's the best for both of us.
Okay.
My mother's not accountable. I said that, and I'll continue to say that. The only place that I'm willing to have a conversation with her is at a therapy session.
Okay.
I'm open to that. I'm open to sitting down with a therapist. That's also how I feel about my son. Like, the first place we need to talk is at a table.
So if Mom call you, I'm willing to go to therapy today. You showing up? Okay.
I'm not showing up to nothing else.
Okay.
I think that's fair.
That's fair.
In terms of my other family, I was able to rekindle with my family. My dad died 4 years ago. So we're in probate court. Yeah. I did take my mother to court. So we have a litigation going on right now. I'm representing myself pro se and doing really good at it. Mm-hmm. So I do have aspirations of being an attorney.
Come on, say that again, because when you told me that, I'm never going to forget that. I don't care what you say. I'm going to be on your back. What you going to go do?
I'm being an attorney.
Yes, I love
for
that.
sure. Formerly incarcerated attorney. Black woman. Period.
I love that.
So I'm getting court time now and getting experiences and writing motions and really doing well. But, it's a gate-kept type of industry, so you got to fight through red tape and a lot of stuff. But I'm fighting my mother in court now. I can't really say much about that. Yeah. But fighting for my legacy and fighting for what's mine. And it's going well. The part of the family, like my dad was the last out of 10. So I have a whole slew of family that loves me, and I was able to reconnect. And it was like a curse broke when he died, to be honest. They told me so much stuff like I didn't know, like that was being told to them. Yep. And I was able to share what was told to me while I was staying away, because they constantly throughout the years would try to reach out to me on Facebook. But, so many negative seeds that was placed in my mind. And so now we just make up for lost time. My cousins, we have a group chat. I'm not used to that. So sometimes I'm just like, they going off like this. Like, I don't know. It's weird to me.
Yeah.
Having family is still weird to me. We have like amazing family time. And I'm like watching some of my cousins and their mother. I'm like obsessed with family dynamic. How's it supposed to be? Like, oh, you're taking your mother out for lunch? Like, wow. Like, they're like, yeah.
Because like that's a normal thing. And like I have people who like they have like a strange relationship with their family. So like people know my mom's my best. I talk to my mom throughout the day.
I love that.
I have to, because my mom is the first person I speak to in the morning and the last person at night. I have to, because she keeps me, when the world is saying no you can't, she's that one voice that's like, and I think my mom's voice is more powerful than anybody else's voice in my life. She could tell me that the sky is green, I'm a believer. Like that's how powerful
your
her
mom,
voice.
Yeah, it's like your inner voice is your mom's voice.
Yeah. So like I think that's like a normal thing, but for you that wasn't your normal, you know what I mean?
Well, my mother's voice was, something's wrong with you. You're sick. Like my mother even admitted me in mental institutions. Like I thought for a long time I had a mental illness. Yeah. Like my mother made me believe that I couldn't trust my own reality. Like I trusted you trust your parents more than you trust yourself.
Yeah. That's your first relationship in life.
So she really messed me up. Yeah. She really messed me up. But I forgave her, right? I'm a Christian woman. I forgave her. And again, I'm willing to meet her at a table with a therapist. But other than that, I don't think that interaction with my mother is healthy for me. I don't interact with my brother. My brother is an attorney. It doesn't have to be logical. Yeah. Whatever my mother says, however my mother feels, he feels the need to support her. He doesn't see my trauma. He doesn't recognize it. And that's fine.
Okay. That's
his
okay.
experience, for a long time that was hurtful, but we don't have a relationship. So it's really about me, my cousins, my kids, trying to mend a relationship with my son. And I feel like as a woman, I'm whole. I'm at a point where I did a lot of personal development. I've done a lot of coaching. I've done a lot of programs. Like I'm a program girl. Like tell me about some skill I can have, or leadership training, or like I've been through a lot of that type of stuff. And so it's allowed me to build my character and be this woman who I'm becoming. And so I think that family dynamic, does that healing part, being able to be around my family is a part of it. But me working on myself was the biggest part of it. Yeah. Not my willingness to get out of it.
Let's also talk about what's next for you business-wise, right? Like your family, that's coming together. What's next for you business that you want people to know about you, what you want them to check out? This is your opportunity to kind of like shine a light on the great things that you are doing. Because like I said, here we don't just highlight trauma. We want to talk about the great that you're doing, and you're doing a lot of good things. So I want you now to like kind of tell the people so like they have these resources that they can go and check out.
Absolutely. So I do a few things. So my life is going to be highlighted soon on film. There's some talks about that. So I'm excited about that. I can't really, disclose a lot about that, but that will be happening. I'm also going to be releasing my second book, A Black Girl in Orange Part 2, Life After Prison. That you're going to be at my book signing, hopefully.
Yes, I'm coming. All I needed was the invite. I'm there now. Yes, go ahead.
So there's that. I also create curriculum, so create programming particularly for people re-entering society out of incarceration. I do that now in my job. So in my day job, I'm a trainer. I am a program coordinator where I support a workforce development program where I created the program for women coming out of prison. And so I teach them how to get jobs. I teach them how to be confident. I teach them how to communicate. I teach them about the stuff that I wish someone would have taught me.
Yeah.
And now I'm a consultant. I also provide and create programming for organizations who need that kind of structured support. My lived experience, I speak about it publicly as I'm doing right now. I'm a public speaker. Just so many different things.
List of resumes. But where can we get that first book at again? So
tjvolcane.com
okay,
is my website. You can also book me as a consultant on that website. Also, if you need I do a lot of workshops again and training, do artificial intelligence training, whatever the needs of an organization is, I can kind of create. I'm really good at that, creating curriculum. Yeah. So it's kind of what I'm doing right now, my day-to-day job, but really want to do more in the long term in terms of writing and film.
Wow. TJ, you're an exceptional woman. I thought I was busy. You're booked.
Kind of.
Before we get out of here, I have a segment on my show. It's called Dear Younger Self. And it's
called what?
Dear Younger Self.
Okay.
And it is my favorite segment of the entire show just because it gives us time to reflect. It's a chance for you to look back to the younger you, the things that you now know as a woman, right? I want you to look into this camera right here. And as if you are speaking to the little girl in you, this is before the incarcerated, before the kids, before everything. I want you to look into that camera and give the little TJ some advice. She's about to navigate life on her own. And she needs advice from you because you already have it. So if you could just give her some knowledge. So you're going to look into this camera and you're going to say, Dear Younger Self, and whatever else you got to say.
Okay.
You got this.
Dear Younger Self, I love you. You are amazing. You are doing your best. You are beautiful. You have your whole life ahead of you. You deserve love, and you deserve people who want to support you. There is nothing on this earth that's not obtainable for you. If you decide to work hard for it, you can obtain it. You can have a beautiful relationship. You can have a beautiful relationship with your family. You deserve beautiful friends. You deserve the life that you want to live, and you do not have to commit crimes to get that life. And thankfully, because who I am now, I know that's true.
I think she would definitely take all that into consideration. So I love that. I want to thank you for just being open-minded to me, being open to coming on my show and telling your story. It's not easy sitting across and telling a stranger because before I interview you, right, we didn't know each other, but you've just been so open and supportive. And I just want to thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
And I appreciate you too, because Black girl, you doing your thing. No, this is amazing. The studio is amazing. Your professionalism. Yeah. I think you are so amazing. And you're getting your doctorate.
Yeah, girl. That's
hard work.
Oh, we're going to have to talk about that.
No, we're going to push each other.
Yeah.
I'm going to be that attorney and you're going to be that doctor.
Yeah, because I need you to go up into that school and get that scholarship money that we talked about. But yeah, we're going to get it together. And I want to thank you guys. I thank you guys for tuning in. Remember to subscribe, and run this episode up. This is Dr. Felder On Line One, and I'm signing out.